Ashe Buru, Ashe Boy, Ashe Wosheshe, Obeate Fung, Life and Prosperity. This is Urumila Fungane Forma, Babalao, Fabrice, alagbatori, Agayusola, Sangolo Pagay. So the topic of discussion is going to be based on ancestral veneration, other stories of the creation in the Ifa traditions, and also why it's very important for us to embrace at least this practice as far as ancestral veneration, and how other parts of the world has also had the same belief system somehow. So, generally speaking, a vast majority of people, and everyone can relate to the fact that we have had a relative that has passed away in our family tree, be it known or unknown, and literally there are like approximately 8.5 billion people on the planet, so everyone has had a connection or a link with the ancestors. Irrespective of what practices or belief we have, we all know that we have somebody, a loved one that we care about and that we wish to connect. And I speak on behalf of the Ifa tradition and other cultures as well that have the same common perspective and views. For us, an ancestor is a way for us to prolong and continue a dialogue with someone we actually knew in the physical realm. Now we can also tap and link with them in the spirit realm. It's also comforting to know that the chapter that we have with them is not over yet. We still get to communicate with them. Also, ancestral veneration is also a form of reincarnation, because we have a belief that whether it's a great-grandfather, great-grandmother, or somebody of our family tree that has deceased, is able to come back through our family tree. We say Baba Tunde for father returns, or we say Iya Tunde for mother returns. Also, in regards to certain factors, like certain problems in society, whether family situations that happens in modern day times, whether it's dysfunction in the family or issues with depression, alcoholism, or abuse, whatever the case may be. In our traditions, we believe that has something to do with lack of attention with our ancestors. Maybe some ancestors that haven't had the proper light. That karmic cycle that is not purified yet is recycled in our new family tree, in our new descendants. So by us working on our karma and also our ancestors' karma, we're able to heal ourselves. An ancestral veneration is a form of healing, in our tradition. Also, we have a particular term for ancestor. We say Egun, not Egun, Egun. Egun basically represents any deceased family member in our family tree, but we have the ability to give them offerings, whether flowers or something known as oral ceremonies. Oral is just ceremonies in the form of offerings, songs of praise. There's a particular song that we sing to not only venerate them, but to respect them and remember them. Each song that we sing has a meaning. It's not simply just singing any random thing. Everything we do and sing, has a meaning. In later time, I will give you guys some examples of what we sing, only what I can reveal, because some things are sacred for the priesthood, adepts of this tradition. Also, there's a concept known as Egungun, which is a community of ancestors in our family tree that, to festivities, they're able to come back. And we do ceremonies, at least in ancient times, in modern day times too, we do ceremonies which is like 7 days long. And this is where we interact with a group of ancestors in our family tree. They literally interact with us and everything. There are people that are specialists in those departments. The scriber, the one who notes, writes down the message. The mediums, the musicians who interact with them with music and rhythm and songs. The priest who has access to open those gateways, the proper ones, right? Because we don't want to just open anything. We have to be conscientious of what we're dealing with energetically. This is why I tell everyone before joining any organization, religion, or practice, you have to understand the basics, the foundation, and the history of everything that is being practiced, because This is literally your soul, your sacred space. You know, so I always tell people, investigate, research. You know, I'm about knowledge first. You know, teach, which is very important. Also, Egungun, in practical terms, you can imagine anybody that, you know, even a famous person, for example. Let's say Maya Angelou. She's very famous. I remember this book, Still I Rise, right? Very powerful poetry she wrote. And imagine having the ability for her to return, right, spiritually, and she's able to dictate Still I Rise Part 2 for 2020 and speak on behalf of what's happening in the world. This seems far-fetched in certain cultures, but in our culture, it's not far-fetched at all. It's just normal, you know. And my great auntie, I don't know if you can see her in this video, but she's the largest picture here. I still have a communication with her. I still have a dialogue with her. I still have a relationship with her, irrespective of whether she's in the physical or spiritual plane. But now, what are the limitations and what are the pros and cons, right? I like to say that this is not what people think. It's not witchcraft at all. It's simply respect. Pacific Islanders have this tradition. South Americans, indigenous cultures always have a connection with their cycles. Because this is a way where once you identify with your ancestors, you're identifying with your identity, your culture, you know, and then your ancestors define your reality, not somebody else. You know what I mean? It empowers you. It empowers you. So, even and now I'm going to expound on two different forms of creation, right? Because remember, there's a lot of creation stories in Ifa culture, and that's a Babalao Ifa priest. We're very orthodox, so I cannot just say whatever. One of our commandments is we cannot lie, we cannot misguide anybody. We always only have to guide people to the direction of truth. Whether the person accepts the truth or not is not our responsibility. All we do is say it, give the message out, and then whoever wants to follow it, it's cool. There's no problem. You know, we just do our part of the our role is to teach and educate and guide, you know, and give the message. There are different forms of Egun, right? There's an Egun Ara, which means parents who have deceased or blood-related family members who are ancestors. There's Egun Ore, which is friends who have deceased or passed away, you know, that are actually protected. There's also, we call it Egun Eleka, which is friends from past lives that still protect us in this life. Can you imagine that? There is also Egungun, Olufe. Those are souls of Babalaos, high priests of Ifa, of Oromila, who are in the ancestral realm. You know, who are in the ancestral realm. So, for example, you cannot see it here, but this is one example of a Egungun Olufe Obadamandishina from our lineage, founder of our lineage. You know, Babalao who's in ancestral heaven, but still we those who are initiated, you know, in that level could interact with him, still help us and guide us to give us new wisdom, new knowledge in these strange times, you know, and also anytime. There's a story I want to share with you guys about the Ancestral Veneration, how physically it looks. I mean, this is not a definite way, but this is just one story. The traditional story talks about a son whose father passed away, and he was not into the tradition at all. He was not into the stuff, and the elders told him that he had to do a proper funerary service for his deceased father, given a proper offering. But he didn't want to waste money in his mind. He didn't want to waste money to do anything for his father. All he did was live him at an Iroko tree. Iroko tree is an ancestral tree in Africa. In Cuba, we call it La Ceiba, you know. And Iroko is, you know, that's what we call out there in Africa. So he just left them at the foot of the tree trunk. Because back then they didn't bury him. They just leave him at a sacred ancestral tree. But he didn't give him flowers or nothing. He just left. And his life started going bad. It was like retrograding. And he couldn't know why. He was in misery and everything. He wanted to, you know, find a solution. So he got a reading by a diviner, a Babalao. And the Babalao told him, hey, you know, your father's upset with you because you didn't give him the proper offerings and respect that he's due. He brought you to this earth, you know. So he went back years later. I mean, of course, when the reading was given, that was the time. But by the time he got the reading, years passed. So when he saw his father's body, unfortunately, it was already decomposed, just bones. That's how long he forgot about his ancestors. So he just wrapped them up in a red ribbon, the bones, and he had certain sticks from the tree and gave it his proper offerings. And to this day, we don't work with bones at all, but we work with actual like trees, like sacred branches that represents the ancestor. We wrap it in certain colors, at least for the priests, you know, the priesthood. And that's just a story of how the importance of ancestral veneration, how sometimes family situations or society could be affected if we don't connect with our ancestors, you know. At least that's our perspective, our views. It's not anyone's views, it's just our view, how we perceive the world, you know. And I'm just opening my culture to you guys, for those who are interested in the Ifa traditions and cultures, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there is a lot of information out there, but where to start, where to begin? So at least from the perspective of an Ifa priest, I'm just giving you a little access to our world without revealing secrets. You know, I'm gonna keep it short. There's a lot more I wanted to talk about here, but I think it's good for now, you know. So I share blessings, and on the next video I will do a part 2, because you know that'll be very good. So I share blessings for you guys and blessings for all your ancestors.